नेपाली सार्वभौम भई फैलिएका मेची महाकाली सयौं थुङ्गा फुलका हामी एउटै माला नेपाली सार्वभौम भई फैलिएका मेची महाकाली प्रकृतिका कोटि कोटि सम्पदाको आचल वीरहरूका राजत्वले स्वतन्त्र र अचल ज्ञान भूमि शान्ति भूमि तराई पहाड हिमाल अखण्ड यो प्यारो हाम्रो मातृभूमि नेपाल बहु जाति भाषा धर्म संस्कृति छ विशाल अग्रगामी राष्ट्र हाम्रो जय जय नेपाल।
Namaste and welcome to all the students in another virtual session initiated by Nijgadh municipality in order to help the community school students across this municipality. I am your English instructor Mr. Lekh Khatri Suman. I was teacher from Sri Bakaya Thakur Basic School, and in this class I'm going to talk about reporting statement of grade 10 English textbook, and it is in unit 2. We have already discussed about unit 1, that's why we are going to begin unit 2 in today's class. Okay, before we begin, let me tell you something about our topic. It is topic debate, and it is reading, and it is in grade 10 English textbook, and debate topic is using a single language is better than multiple languages. Okay, this is the topic, and our topic is debate. Have you ever participated in debate in your school? I hope you have participated in debate in in your school, in your class, that might have been conducted by your teacher. If you have participated, then there won't be any difficulties in understanding debate. Let me pitch this picture. He is debating on some topic. He is standing behind the podium. It means that he is debating on some topic. What is debate? Debate is a formal discussion of an issue between two or more people. Between two or more people, it is a formal discussion of particular topic between two and more than two people, and generally they have opposing view. For example, I would like to paste another picture here, and there are group of people, and these are the group of people, and they are also debating on some topic. And today's our class is debate, that's why I'm going to talk about debate. And let me put another in this picture too. The people are debating. That's why today's what is debate? Debate is a formal discussion about particular topic between two and more than two people. Okay, and we are going to talk about this topic reading portion. First of all, let me talk about reporting statement. Okay, reporting statement, this is the name of the topic, and in this unit we are going to talk about reading portion, that is debate, and what are the things that we need to need in this topic are mentioned here. And first of all, you should know what is debate. Debate is a formal discussion of an issue between two or more than two people having opposite view. The people having opposite view will discuss in debate. And second one is topic. The topic of our here topic reading portion is using a single language is better than multiple languages is the topic. Using a single language is better than multiple languages is the topic. And in debate we should know two terms, that is for the motion and against the motion. We need to know for the motion and against the motion. For the motion means supporting the topic, supporting the and topic in support of the topic. If someone speaks in support of the topic, then that is for the motion, and against the motion refers to opposite view than the topic. If someone gives contrasting view than the topic, then that is called the against the motion. In debate, you must know these two terms, for the motion and against the motion. For example, there is topic using a single language is better than multiple languages. If someone speaks in favor of this topic, using a single language is better than multiple languages, then this is for the motion. And if someone opposes this view, if someone opposes this topic, then that is against the motion. That is, they will say that multiple language is better than single language, and they will go against the topic. And venue, here venue is Gauri Shankar Higher Secondary School, that is given in your textbook, Gauri Shankar Higher Secondary School. And speakers are Karma and Kavita. Karma speaks for the motion and Kavita speaks against the motion. And MC means Master of Ceremony, and host is Amrit Timal Sinha is the MC. And debate can be done on any topic that can be that is debatable. Not that can be, that is debatable. A debate can be done on any topic that is debatable. For example, there are some topics that can be debated on. For example, plastic bags should be banned, right? Plastic bags should be banned. Some people can speak in favor of this topic, and some can speak against this topic. And native language is better than English language. This is another debatable topic, and students should not be allowed to use Facebook. This is another debatable topic, because some people may give the view that students should be allowed to use Facebook, and some may give the view that students should not be allowed to use Facebook. And this last one is sports should be encouraged at school, and this is also one of the debatable topic. And if we debate regularly, then debating does not mean that you should debate with your friends on unnecessary things, but the right debate, the debate should have vision and reason. And if you have vision and reason in your debate, then debating on the daily basis on fruitful topic will be beneficial to you students. Do you understand? I hope you are getting my point well. And before we begin our text, reading text, we need to know the difficult vocabulary that are there, and some are the words that you may not know. There are some words that you may not know, and I'm going to deal with them here, okay? There is one word, reluctant, and reluctant means hesitating before doing something. Hesitating before doing something because you don't want to do that thing. That's why fraternity means a feeling of friendship and support. Fraternity means a feeling of friendship and support, here is given. And intelligible means that can be easily understood. The thing that can be easily understood. Language should be intelligible. Language should be intelligible. And inherent means basic part of something that cannot be removed. Inherent means intrinsic. Inherent means intrinsic that lies within that thing. And perceive means receive something, get something, understand something. And reciprocal means mutual. That is opposite. We have got reciprocal relationship, we can say. And disappear means vanish. Haraunu, disappear means boost, means improve. And collapse means fall down. Distinct means specific, khas, bishesh. And dialects means regional language. It is the language that is spoken in the particular area and by particular group of people. And degeneration means the process of becoming worse. The process of becoming worse is called degeneration. And perspective means viewpoint. Perspective means viewpoint. And promote means upgrade. Promote means upgrade. And conference means a large official meeting. What is the meaning of conference? a large official meeting. And barrier means a situation that prevents somebody from doing something. Barrier is the situation that prevents somebody from doing something. And integrity is togetherness. Determine means fix on. Diversity means variety. Eventually means gradually. Opportunity means chance. And recent means latest. Okay, these are the terms: reluctant, fraternity, intelligible, inherent, perceive, reciprocal, disappear, boost, collapse, distinct, dialects, degeneration, perspective, promote, conference, barrier, integrity, determine, diversity, eventually, opportunity, recent. These are the words that you should know under this topic. And what is debate? Debate is a formal discussion of an issue, of a particular issue, and in debate two or more speakers express opposing view. In debate two or more speaker expresses opposing view, they have contrasting view. And debate is also argument or discussion expressing different opinions. In debate people do not express the same opinion, they will have different opinion on the topic. And debate means to discuss something formally. This is the definition of debate. Hope students you have got it well. Okay, there has been debate competition in Gauri Shankar Higher Secondary School. Amrit Timalsina is the master of ceremonies. MC, Karma and Kavita are the speakers in the final round of the debate. And read the transcriptions of the debate below and note some important points Karma and Kavita presented in support to support their opinion. Here it has said, for the motion, using a single language is better than multiple languages. Using a single language is better than multiple languages is the name of the debate topic, and we are going to deal this topic today. Okay, are you ready, students? And I hope you have opened your textbook on page number 13 and you have got ready to study with me. And there it goes like Mr. Chairperson, respected teachers and friends, I would like to thank Mr. Timalsina for giving me an opportunity to express my opinion on the burning issue. The fewer the languages there are, the easier the life will be. Every year several languages die out. Some people think that life will be easier if there are fewer languages in the world. I support this view. At first, Karma speaks on this topic and he says that he supports the view. It means that he speaks for the motion. He speaks for the motion. He says that some people believe that life will be easier if there are fewer languages, and he also supports this views. Karma supports this views. As we know, the development of recent technology has significant role to create global village. People from any part of the world can communicate easily through the internet. Due to the international importance of the English language, the most people are reluctant to use their first language and are learning English. This shows that people prefer learning the language that helps them to communicate to the global village to their own language. What does it say is that the development of recent technology, latest technology has important role to create a global village. The world has become like a single village because of recent development in technological field, and people from any part of the world can communicate easily through the internet. Nowadays, communication process has become easier because of internet, and due to international importance of the English language, the most people are reluctant to use their first language and are learning English. For example, now the English language has been widespread throughout the world. That's why many people hesitate to learn their mother tongue. They just want to learn English because it has the international value of being a superior language. And learning English. This shows that people prefer learning the language that keeps them to communicate to the global village to their own language. If they have the knowledge of English language, they can then they can communicate to the global village and to their own language. That's why they do not want to know their own language. That's why I support this view, because it has the world has already been created as a global village. In global village, we should have only one language. We should have English language, and if we have single language, then our life will be easier, says Karma. And Mr. Chairperson, using the same language would certainly aid understanding and global fraternity. People can communicate with one another without any problems. It unites all the people as global citizens. If everyone speaks the same language, there will be a clear understanding between not only countries but also people throughout the world. It would promote learning, the flow of information and ideas. For example, students don't have to translate the text into their mother tongue to understand. What does the speaker focus in the third paragraph of this text is that if everybody uses the same language, that will aid understanding, that will help in understanding process, and it will also increase the feeling of global brotherhood, and people can communicate with one another without any problems, and it unites the people, and there will be mutual understanding, and it unites all the people as global citizen, and it would promote learning, the flow of information, he says. And he also says that if there is only one language, students don't have to translate the text into their mother tongue, and no any text should be translated in their mother tongue if there is single language, says Karma. And ladies and gentlemen, economic growth is also possible by using single language, as it can minimize various costs such as the cost of communication, translation, interpretation, etc. What does he further says is that all the cost of the communication, translation, interpretation will be eased. That's why if there is only one language, then economic growth is also possible, because if the people use single language, then we do not need to worry about translation and interpretation, and the money that we spend there can be used in another field, he says. And we won't need interpreters in international conferences, seminars and workshops. Participants can easily express whatever they like in the language of common understanding. Thus, it can minimize the communication barriers and helps international business, resulting in a healthier world economy. The same idea has been expressed there. And not only this, if a language is intelligible for all, the member of security forces can easily investigate and understand national and international criminal plans. What does it say is that if there is single language, then it will also help in the process of identifying and discovering the criminals who have hidden around the different parts of the world, and that will also help in that work, and it may help in solving international and intercultural security problems, and it will help in solving security problems too. And to conclude, I strongly claim that using a single language as a lingua franca strengthens our fraternity, integrity, security and global understanding, in addition to helping international business and economy. In this way, Karma has concluded his debate, and he says thank you. And here is another speaker who speaks against the motion. And there is another speaker, and she's Kavita, and she says using multiple languages is better than using a single language. Kavita just speaks against the motion, that is Bipachema. Okay, for the motion means Pachema and against the motion means Bipachema. Using multiple languages is better than using a single language, and this text goes in this way. Mr. Chairperson, respected teachers and friends, thank you Mr. Timal Sinha for giving me this platform to present my view on the issue. As we know, every year several languages die out. With their death, the knowledge inherent there dies too. Though the previous speaker argued that the fewer the languages are, the easier the life will be, I strongly disagree with his argument. And what does he say is that every year several language dies out. That's true, but not only language dies, but also the culture that is inherent there dies too. And inherent means that is inside them, inside the language also dies. And previous speaker had argued that fewer the languages, the life will be easier, and I strongly disagree this point, says Kavita. And Mr. Chairperson, language influences our thought and our thought influences reality of the world around us. It means we perceive the world as per our linguistic background. Languages also carries culture and linguistic diversity have reciprocal relationship. Therefore, there is obvious disadvantages of having only one global language. Firstly, it would mean that all other languages would eventually disappear, and along with them their cultures too. And each culture is unique with its own way of life and one perspective of the world. Cultural diversity boosts tourism because it attracts tourism from different parts of the world. The loss of language results in the loss of culture, and the loss of culture leads to the collapse of the tourism industry, because there would be no reason to travel for pleasure and if there is same language all over the world. We have the same language and similar culture. This finally leads to decline of the national economy of the countries which rely on tourism industry. What does this paragraph says is that if there is only one language, then language carries culture, and if the language dies, then the culture will also die, and each culture has its own unique significance. That's why if the culture dies, then it will not help in tourism industry, because tourists come and tourists visit all over the world in different parts of the world, because the different countries have different cultures, different society have different culture. That's why tourists come to visit one place. If we all have same culture and same language, then it won't be worth visiting, says Kavita. And Mr. Chairperson, with using pure languages also creates identity problems. The ethnic group without their own language and culture lost their linguistic and cultural identity. Variety in literature is only possible through linguistic and cultural differences. It is impossible if we have a single global language. Likewise, each language has its own taste and own distinct quality. For example, the Sanskrit language is said to have musical quality. All these qualities get lost if the people start using a single language all over the world. Furthermore, the fewer the languages are in use, the less the vocabulary in practice. Therefore, the less vocabulary in practice, the less imaginative and creative work is possible, says Kavita. What does Kavita say is that if there is pure language, then variety in literature is not possible, and with language, the identity, there will be identity crisis in the world, because if all the ethnic groups have same languages and culture, then they will lose their identity, says Kavita. And variety in literature is only possible by means of diversity in language. And if the language dies, and language dies means that there will be few vocabulary. When there is few vocabulary, then the imaginative and creative power of people will also be lost. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to read out the last paragraph. I would like to ask Karma if he could understand all the varieties, that is dialects of his mother tongue. As we know, even the dialects are often unintelligible to all the speakers of the same languages. Then how can we think about the use of a single language all over the world? Is it practical? Is it possible? I think debating on such issue is just a waste of time. Thank you. Kavita says, if Kavita asks Karma if he can just understand the different varieties of his language. Okay, and dialects, even the dialect is, if the dialect is unintelligible to the people, then how is it possible to have the single language throughout the world? Asks Kavita to Karma. It means that, for example, being Nepali people, we even do not understand all the dialects. Dialects means that is regional language is spoken in different places. For example, in Nepali language, we say Pito, but the far western people say that is Dulo, and we say Chori to daughter, but they say Cheli. And in this way, even our dialect is different, then how is it possible to bring uniformity system by applying the same language throughout the world? The Kavita raises question to Karma. Okay, did you get it, students? And there are two speakers, Karma and Kavita. Karma speaks for the motion. He says that using single language is better than using multiple languages, but Kavita speaks against the motions. He says using multiple languages is better than using a single language. Understand? Okay, students, let me conclude their ideas. Okay, there were two speakers, one is Karma and another was Kavita, and Karma spoke for the motion and Kavita spoke against the motion, and the key point, the concluding point of their debate can be presented as given here. And Karma says, he speaks for the motion, and he says every year several languages die out and the world has become a global village due to the development of science and technology. That's why there should be single language, and people prefer learning the languages that helps them to communicate in the global village, because they are reluctant to use their mother tongue, because that is no more used in the international conference, seminars, etc. And using the same language would certainly aid understanding in global communities, says Karma. If your language and my language is same, then certainly there will be mutual understanding. Our relationship will be reciprocal there, and people can communicate with one another without any problem if there is single language. This was another important point mentioned by Karma, and a single language can unite all the people as global citizen. And if we have the same language throughout the world, then we'll be a global citizen. And economic growth is also possible, that Karma had said, because we do not have to pay for translation and interpretation, and it would promote learning and flow of information, because students don't have to translate the ideas into their mother tongue, and it strengthens our fraternity, integrity, security, etc. Had said Karma, because if we use the single language, then that will also help in the process of finding the international criminals. And Kavita had gone against the topic, that is, she spoke against the motion, and she says that every year several languages die out. That's true, and with them the knowledge inherent there dies too. Not only language, but the knowledge also dies. That's why it is very bad thing to disappear language. Language should be preserved. There should be many languages, says Kavita, and language influences our thoughts, which then influences our reality of the world around us. This is the second point mentioned by Kavita, and she says language carries culture, because every language and culture comes together. That's why if the language dies, then culture also dies. Culture and linguistic diversity have a reciprocal relationship. Having only one global language is not good, says Kavita, and its culture is unique. That's why its language is unique. Language is our property that should be preserved, says Kavita. And if a language disappears, along with it the culture also disappears. Cultural diversity boosts tourism. Cultural diversity boosts tourism, that will promote tourism field, and the loss of culture leads to the collapse of tourism industry. And if there is a loss of culture, then the tourism industry will be collapsed, because if we all have the same culture and same language, then why should we visit the different corners of the world? Because people want to visit different parts of the world in order to know their language and culture, lifestyle. If we have same kind of lifestyle, language and culture, then it is not worth visiting. That's why the loss of culture leads to the collapse of tourism industry. Using pure language can also create identity problem. For example, you do not have any kind of identity. Now different ethnic groups have different identity because they speak different language and they follow different culture. If we have the same language, then we start following same culture and we start speaking the same language. That's why there will be identity crisis. And she further says the ethnic group without their own language lose their cultural and linguistic identity, and they will become like monkey without tail. And variety in literature is only possible through linguistic and cultural differences. And if there is variety if we want the variety in literature, then we need to have cultural and linguistic diversity, and each language has its unique taste and its distinct quality, and each language has unique flavor and taste, and every language is distinct, specific and particular. That's why language should be preserved. And Kavita says language should be preserved. The languages, the more culture will there be. That's why there will be promotion in tourism industry. But Karma focuses that if there is single language, then that will unite us and will be a global citizen. And dear students, I think this is going to be too long. That's why you might have bored with more explanation. That's why I would like to conclude our video here only. We'll discuss about the question answer in our next video. I hope you have understood this topic very well, and if you do not have understood, you can ask your teachers, you can ask your elder brothers, anyone who is more intelligent than you can ask to them. And I hope you have understood it well. And in our coming video, in our next video, we'll talk about its exercise portion. And I hope students, you will also try to do the exercise that is given on the page number 15, 16 and 17 of your textbook. I hope. And with this, I would like to say goodbye from today's session. Bye bye. Have a nice time ahead. Namaste. See you again.